everybody. Welcome to Networking at Noon. I am Tiffanie Kellog, your hostess for today's episode, and I am joined by Danielle Rush. Danielle, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and Andrew says hi as well.
Hello.
So Danielle, you're here today. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
I help my clients create happy, healthy lives, and I encourage that through a set of regular practices such as movement, meal prepping, mindfulness, and taking control of your schedule.
All right. So if you had to pick one to get started with, to talk to us a little bit about, which one would you pick out of those few you mentioned?
Well, movement and specifically yoga, because it is a lifestyle and it is the bread on the peanut butter and jelly sandwich of life. It holds it all together.
Okay, so why is yoga such an integral part of the movement and the lifestyle and all that?
Well, the yoga that I teach, it's a combination of obviously yoga is 5,000 years old and Western society got a hold of it. And then I've tweaked it a little bit. And that's one of the great things about yoga. It's vast. There's a lot of different styles. Every teacher is going to be different. So it really is, you can find something for everyone. And you can find some yoga that's going to help you take a great nap and allow you to have better sleep at night. You're going to find yoga that's going to give you a great workout and your abs are sore the next day, whatever it is you're into. Some of those people that like that hurt so good feeling. So it all is important. And what I love about yoga is that it really does help regulate the nervous system. And the nervous system kind of controls everything about us. So if you're dieting and exercise, or rather you're eating right and exercising, but your nervous system is in turmoil because of something going on in your life, it can really mess with your health. So I kind of like that, the grounding effect that yoga has on you. And all the while, you're also getting some good exercise.
So I know plenty of women do yoga. Can men do yoga as well?
Oh my gosh, I have a secret. Yoga was started by men. Women were not allowed to do it in the beginning.
That sounds so historically accurate.
Accurate. Yep, pretty much. Of course, men can do yoga. I know a lot of men that do yoga, and it's a great compliment. And that's what I've always told people. Yoga shouldn't be the only thing you're doing. I know somebody who loves ice skating. So we need to do a lot of different things, but the lessons that we learn in yoga are great for men, women, and all the other sports that we do.
Yeah. So you mentioned the ice skating. So if y'all don't know yet, I am working on ice skating, or at least learning how to ice skate. And I've actually found, because like sometimes I'm like, okay, what stretches do I want to do? And I found yoga for hockey players. And so it's different poses and stretches that are really meant. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if like the hockey players are doing this yoga stuff, because like my goal right now is I want to do a tree while I'm on skates, not putting the one skate into my leg because that would cut me. However,
Yeah.
but I balance on one skate, not moving without killing myself.
Yeah.
So that's my fun challenge I'm working on. But so, yeah, I found like there's yoga for all kinds of different things. So that's kind of me though. Andrew wanted to know, if I'm a beginner at yoga, how should I start?
That's it. You start. Don't be one of those people that just say, oh, one day I'm going to do it, because it's great to have a goal, but if you don't actually do what you need to do, put the systems in place to actually get going. So A, just get started, but
Well,
B, research.
How do I even start?
Well, you got to find the right kind of yoga.
Okay.
So talking to a great yoga friend that he may have could help decide what kind of yoga do you want. Because like I said, there's yoga for napping, and then there's yoga that's cardio yoga practically. So once we figure out what kind of yoga he wants, he just needs to research what he's looking for. Is that online or is that in person? Some people are a little more comfortable working out at home online. It's more convenient for their schedule, and maybe they're a tad shy. And then some people really feel more connected when there's another person in there, and the accountability of having to show up to that class is helpful. And then from there, just read the class description, because a lot of teachers will accommodate you, but secretly it's kind of a buzzkill if a beginner walks into the world's fastest cardio class ever. So read the description of the class. And if you think it's right for you, just check in with the teacher.
Gotcha. Now you mentioned online. Now because I know you're located in Hernando County in Florida. However, you don't just work with people in Hernando County. For example, I'm in Pasco County, Andrews in Pinellas County, and there's places outside of the state too.
Yes.
You work with people outside of your own little neighborhood there in Hernando.
Yes, my farthest client is in Alaska. So, and I love it. She actually has sled dogs. That's how she gets to the grocery store. I'm like, what? No.
So fun.
So I do have clients all over the country, and I could totally have it all over the world. I have an online class platform. I record classes, and about 1 to 4 classes are uploaded every month. And that's one option. Also, I have online coaching programs where we could get together on Zoom. I have a text coaching program where we text every day. So there are definitely options that we don't have to be neighbors in order to do yoga together.
Gotcha. Now, if we do happen to be in the neighborhood, I know you have a fun event that happens the second Saturday of every month. I went last month in March. I should have put the pictures up, but I didn't. I'm going next month in April. What fun event do you have going on if people want to come and hang out?
So I have goat yoga every second Saturday. And I'm going to tell you, it is a real thing. You would not believe how many people say, I've heard of this and thought they were kidding. That nobody believes it's actually a real thing. It's just what you think it is. You're just doing some light movement, gentle stretching, and there are goats running around. And right now it's particularly exciting because we have about 9 babies ranging from 2 weeks to 2 months. We're still bottle feeding, and they're learning to do their jumps. Yes, they do jump on their back. They'll jump on your front. So, and it's just what it should be. It's laughter, it's outside in nature, and it's light movement and making new friends.
Yeah, I was joking. Somebody was like, yeah, the goats I can do. I'm not sure about the yoga part. And I'm like, it's much more goat than it is yoga.
Right. It is. But a lot of people, they're afraid of yoga too. Yoga is a big, scary word.
Why,
and sometimes what I love,
scary?
there's a couple of reasons, but I will tell you that goat yoga is a great way to get rid of those fears, because then you realize, oh, wow, this isn't such a big deal. People are afraid of yoga. I think some, because we're always afraid of what we don't know, and trying new things can be scary, but also some yoga teachers, there's another language because it originates from India.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's another language used. So that can be like mysterious. I don't know what they're saying. And I don't want to mess up in front of other people. Also, one thing is, some people, they'll say, I can't do yoga because I'm not flexible. And then the other percentage of people are like, I have to do yoga because I'm not flexible. And that's funny that those both are in the same room. But also, flexibility is not really the biggest point of yoga. So it's just, I guess, I don't know, 5,000 years ago, the yogi gurus did not have good PR. And somehow that yoga has become scary, and it really shouldn't be.
Like, I think of CrossFit as scary. To me, yoga isn't
Right?
that scary. Though, and I've like totally given up. So I do yoga a couple times a week here locally in my area. And I've so given up on, do I look good? Am I doing it right? I'm like, oh, this feels good. Here we go. One of the instructors this week was like, and you can try and do this. And I just laughed. I mean, I couldn't help myself. I laughed out loud. I'm like, I'm not even close to that.
Yeah.
I'm like,
you know, a lot of what I've found with working with groups of people, most people, they're coming in and they're afraid of messing up and everyone looking at them. But what they don't realize is that everyone has that. So most people are worried about their own mess ups, so much so that they're not even looking at you. But we think they are. But that feeling of you thinking that they're thinking of you is what they're doing. So really, no one has time to look at you because they're looking at themselves and laughing. So we all need to lighten up a little bit, you know?
Yeah. So if somebody is thinking, okay, movement, and maybe they try yoga, it's for them, it's not for them. Because I know you and I, Danielle and I have been working together for the past couple months. She's helping as my health coach. And for many months, she's like, move more. And I'm like, no. And then finally I was open to the conversation. But exercise isn't something that I would think of as fun for me. Now, I've certainly gotten over that. It was interesting a couple of weeks ago because I had a crazy schedule and I had some videos I was shooting and some other stuff. I missed yoga for like 4 or 5 days. And I was like getting cranky. I'm like, I almost put on social media, is everybody in the world just being super annoying lately, or is it me? And there were some very instances that were for real. People were being idiots. However,
Yeah.
like I went into yoga that night, and within the first 5 minutes, I'm like, oh yeah, I missed 2 of the yoga classes this week. I haven't done yoga. So
Yeah.
yoga is definitely like I've found like I have some joy. I wouldn't think I'd like exercising, but I've definitely found some joy in doing the yoga and joy in doing the ice skating. So if somebody's out there and they're not very athletically inclined, because I'm certainly not, and they're not doing much, what would be your suggestion to help them get moving?
Well, if there's a coach and an exercise professional out there named Shailene Johnson, and in one of her books, it might be Push, I can't remember, she says you have to find your soulmate workout. So you don't have to think of it as exercise if it's like you enjoy doing it. So just like you find your soulmate in life, the person that it's like you want to be with, that you look forward to seeing this person, good days and bad days, their good days and bad days, you still want to be with that person. So find your soulmate workout. And for me, I'm never going to like run marathons. Running sounds like the worst thing ever to me. I'm not super comfortable in the water, although I like my pool, but I'm not going to become like a swimmer. The thought of getting on a bike after you're swimming, but you're wet. Why are you marathon? I don't understand triathlons. All of this is wrong. But if it's your soulmate, then you do it. So I know you really do love ice skating. You've always been into skating in general. That's why I always tell people I really love it if you could do some strength training of some kind, and then your fun activity. So I have one couple, a husband and wife client team, and they walk all the time, and they listen to an audiobook together.
Oh.
And that's actually like they have one ear pod in each ear. And that's for me, walking with your partner at the end of the day, that's a couple's activity too. That's just healthiness. So kind of like try to reframe it. And also, if it's just 5 minutes, like, okay, I'm going to try walking for 5 minutes. And then once you realize other tools like your favorite playlist or an audiobook or your BFF walking with you, all of a sudden you realize, this isn't so bad. So
sometimes I'll even do walk and talk. So I get the phone, I put my whatever you call them in.
Yeah.
And I'll like schedule times. I'm like with my sister or my friend Tonya from Michigan. It's like, hey, do you want to walk and talk? And so they're not here locally, but I can still have that conversation. And I like walking much better when I get to like be entertained otherwise.
I have a one up on that. What do you think of walking with your referral partners?
I love it. Love it.
Yeah.
They're in your area and they'll walk.
Yeah. Our group, we do, there's a group of us, we try to do, hey, we both need to get together. Let's do it this way. So
love it. Love it. So I know we've talked a lot about kind of the personal side of it. And I know you work with people in the business world and outside of the business world, though most of the audience watching this show is also in the business world, whether they have their own business, they're an agent, whatever it may be. So I was wondering if I could pose to you a question. How can I be less stressed at work?
First, make sure you're working where you want to work. And now if you own your business, you don't like going to it, that's the very first thing you have to kind of like look at. And I'm not saying throw your businesses out the window, guys, or get rid of them or, move to, Timbuktu or whatever. But let's figure out, why is work stressful? And that's why I really talk to a lot of my clients, especially my professionals. Your stress is in your calendar. First, you're stressed because you're not using a calendar, or maybe you are, but you're booking yourself in a way that's not making work fun. You're booking your appointments too close together. There's no project time. There's no prep time. There's no lunch breaks. You're going in, you're thinking, if I could just get up 2 hours early and start working, but you realize you're not getting that 7 hours. Look at your schedule and figure out number one. And then number two, figure out when you're in the moment, do we need to reframe this? Is it something you're obsessing over that really, just a bad attitude, or is it a situation that you can really like change and, let it go in that respect? And then there are other strategies that I really recommend, deep breathing, daily meditation. And that's where the word practice comes in. Yoga practice, meditation practice. It's a practice because we're always continually doing it. even if it's 1 minute a day.
So wait, for meditation, I don't have to meditate for like 30 minutes in a special area that I built just for meditation.
Now, I'm not going to say that a nice little area doesn't help, because if there's a lot of distractions or it's messy, it can definitely make it a little unnerving in a way, but it's helpful to have a spot. But no, 1 to 3 minutes a day. And all you got to do is focus on breathing, or even a cheeseburger.
And Danielle actually has a really great cheeseburger meditation. So if you go to my YouTube channel, put in on my YouTube channel, Danielle, it'll pull up her cheeseburger meditation.
I do it at goat yoga too.
Yes, we did it at goat yoga. So it was goats and cheeseburgers.
Right. Which feels wrong. I don't know why.
Yeah, I know. I was just saying, I don't know if appropriate.
I'll do a salad meditation.
Rhonda McDaniel said, hi, ladies. And Andrew Gordon said, okay, he's going to go in April with Piper. Is it okay because she's 4?
That's fine. I tell people that children that are self-aware around animals are totally fine. And if my gut about Andrew is that his little girl is going to be very kind.
Yeah.
And
and you're doing like little dance moves, the little baby goats, and
right. She'll love it. I have had young children, and they all were very kind and respectful of the animals and the other adults enjoying a class. So I'm cool with that.
All right. It sounds like your work is a lot of play, which is brilliant. I love it when people get to have fun at work. Though when you're not doing the, RedLife yoga and coaching and helping people move and meditate, what do you like to do for fun?
I am actually a professional painter. I'm a retired art teacher. So I paint in watercolor, oil, and acrylic. I have a little dash of sculpture. And I also, somewhat related to my coaching business, I do love to cook, and I do write recipes, and I'm working on a long-term project of a cookbook. So I do get a lot out of that.
And I've been testing out some of her recipes for a cookbook.
Yes.
And there was one I didn't love, and all the rest, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll eat that one again. I'll eat that one again. I'll eat that again. So the fact that there was only one that I wasn't in love with, I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah. And that your spark of not loving it had me switching the recipe around, and now I love the new version. So I'm all with that. I love the feedback.
So you paint, you cook, when you're just truly downtime.
I'm a couch potato.
Yeah.
I'm a homebody. And I mean, I love getting out. I love that we live in Florida. My husband and I are really big on walking in the Weeki Wachee Preserve around where we live. I love kayaking. That's all fun. But I do love my shows, man. And I'm in like halfway through Mandalorian season 2, and I just want an alien baby. I just do. I know.
So tiny.
Oh my gosh, I love the little fuzz on his head and the way he's just the eating everything. Oh my gosh, he's just so cute.
Now, but Star Wars is not your usual thing.
No, it is not. A couple of my friends, including you, kind of talked me into this because I wasn't I was like, Star Wars is okay, but I'm a Star Trek junkie. I'm all about Star Trek. We call it my alien soap operas. I'm in it.
Oh my gosh, that's true.
Right? Yeah, totally. I love Voyager, The Next Generation. I'm totally into Picard and Discovery. Yes, I embrace nerdiness.
It's a nice shift. Like it's different. Like Discovery is different. Like they have different feels.
It is.
They're still in the same universe.
Yeah, totally. And they really did well by not hurting us, because I can get away from, some nerds get very hard stuck on canon. That's not the way it was written, blah blah blah. But I just want good entertainment, and I'm enjoying it. And I've always been a fan of aliens. My mother raised me on butt kicking shows, butt kicking movies. Yeah. She liked action. She was not a chick flick kind of mom.
Gotcha.
So I just added aliens in my butt kicking.
Hey, there you go. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So if we're talking here to the general public, whether they're entrepreneurs or not, whether they're retired, whether they're stay at home, whether they're younger. So when we have pain in our body, like let's say I've got an issue, what do I do to fix it?
Well, first we need to seek medical attention if that's something you need. Don't go to your yoga teacher if you've been in a car accident. Go to your doctor. No. So, this morning I had someone come into my class and her back was a little achy. And right away I was like, okay, hey, any sharp pains, numbness, or tingling? She's like, no, just a little achy from regular day-to-day life. And I'm like, okay, we can be kind and gentle today. But first off, do go to the doctor if you need to go to the doctor. Okay. Secondly, if your doctor has told you maybe it's some lifestyle habits, which is the biggest reason, maybe bad posture and sitting too much, being part of that, we need to take into consideration that often a lot of people are saying, oh, I'm just tight, I just need to stretch. So stretching does feel good, and that's probably part of the problem. And it is, the tightness is a way that our body would feel, but sometimes that tightness and that feeling of you not being flexible is not really what's going on.
Okay.
There's two different things, or a multiple of things. Our bodies are complicated, but one thing is that maybe there's some muscle weakness. Your muscle is actually not able to fire correctly and stabilize you. So another muscle is taking over. If you think about an office of 10 workers and 2 of them are doing all the work, there's going to be, those 2 are going to be pretty darn cranky if it's not even the job they were hired for. I know that our business professionals get that.
Yes.
So we need to, sometimes just even out the body and get the right muscles doing the right jobs. And that's what yoga is great for. It's an evening out and there's a lot of strength going on. Secondly, your tightness also could be a neurological issue. Our brains are very smart. They realize what she's doing is not safe. So I'm going to make her tight so she has less range of motion so she doesn't fall over. So a braking system happens. That tightness, you can't bend over because if you did, you'd go kerplop.
Huh.
So just get moving. It doesn't have to be yoga. It has to be safe movement at a good pace. Don't start running marathons if you've been sitting for 2 years. Just start walking with your BFF.
Marathons.
Exactly. Work up to it, but just start moving in a way that you like.
So have you ever watched the show King of the Hill? It's cartoon.
Yeah, of course.
There was an episode where Hank did yoga.
Oh, I gotta look for that.
Oh yeah, you totally have to, because he was injured and then he went and did yoga class and he didn't need the next brace and he was all great. And then the next morning he was hurt again and he had to go to yoga. And the person that was watching, the medical examiner or whomever was watching him, well, you were fine afterwards. And he's like, I did yoga. You totally have to watch that episode.
I like that. Yeah. Okay, very good. I feel that way.
Is a great question, kind of segue. Rhonda says, what do you recommend for beginners yoga? And I know we talked about getting started, but she shared she took one class and couldn't do the moves. So I don't know if she couldn't do the moves. So Rhonda, I don't know if it's you couldn't do the moves because you weren't 100% sure what the moves were, or you just couldn't flexibility do the moves. So if you want to put that into the chat box, but maybe I'll see if Danielle can answer both sides of that.
Yes. Well, sometimes you never know. It's a communication process. That teacher might not have communicated another option. And so or you might not have heard the other option. We don't know because we all learn different ways. So that's one thing.
Her thing was flexibility.
Well, you know what, like I said, if her braking system is on, then she would just do a different version of it until her brain has turned off her braking system, or her muscles, like some of the office workers, have gotten back in the game, doing all of the strength is being built up in different areas. It's a practice, and nothing happens. You might feel better after one class, but really it's just like everything else. Are you going to become a bodybuilder going to the gym once? No. You're not going to become a football player playing catch outside with dad once. So we do have to stick it out, and it's okay if you're not 100% the first day. Yeah.
And I think sometimes, we get lucky when we get good instructors and not, I know most of the people that I do, it's here's modification, here's level 1, level 2, level 3. Though I find it interesting in some ways, I'm super flexible. I've always kind of been flexible, even without a lot of stretching, but other ways, if I put one leg out in front of me, they're put your nose to your nose to your knee. I can do that. Yeah. If I put both legs out in front of me, not even close. And
wow. Yeah.
even me being flexible, like I'm really flexible here and so not flexible
Right.
there. So there's kind of that. Poor
Yeah.
Rhonda was not given a different option.
Well, there you go. It's just different styles of teaching. But then that goes back to what we talked about with Andrew. I'm not going to say necessarily, I would hope that all teachers would be able to give options, but you also do have to read the description of the class. If you're walking into a power yoga session and there's a lot of people in the class, I'm not saying this happened to Rhonda, but that's a lot on a teacher when other people are expecting someone different. And that's just a tip for anybody, not necessarily for Rhonda. But.
And sometimes there's bad teachers out there. I mean, we've all probably done a program, not necessarily yoga, but we've done programs before where the right person. So maybe if you haven't had the right yoga person, you can go see Danielle. You can do online. I go to yoga at 8 on Saturday mornings here in the Land O'Lakes area. So if anybody wants to come to Crunch with me, I go see her on the second Saturday of the month for goat yoga. Y'all are welcome to come to that too.
One more note, I would say
it was supposed to be a beginner class.
Oh, bummer. Another thing I would say though, have you ever been in a situation where two people said the same thing and you only heard it from one?
Parents and spouses have never had that happen before. Yeah.
Sometimes we connect. That happens with our referral partners, or we think we're saying the same thing over and over again, then all of a sudden someone hears us. It's just the nature of humans,
So Rob has a question for you that was given to me on a sticky note.
Oh, I like it. Oh gosh, I hope it's not like annoying.
When working out, does intensity matter, or is just going through the motions okay?
Oh, no, I think intensity matters. It's where you're at on your journey too. So if you are, just getting from being sedentary and then you start working out, your intensity, just walking around the block is going to be pretty intense for you. But after a while, if I suddenly wanted to make some changes, I work out a lot with all the classes and then my own workout. But if I suddenly had a big goal like that marathon, I'm going to have to step it up in a way that might be way intense compared to someone else's journey. So yes, you do got to put your effort into it. And I think he knows that answer.
He said it wasn't for him, but I don't know who that's for.
Yeah, definitely. Intensity does matter.
Yeah.
But we all have good days and bad days.
Yes, we do. So I want to be conscious of our time. We typically go to about 12:30. We're about there. So a couple quick last minute questions for you.
Okay.
So I know you are one of our Asentiv Referrals for Life community members. Why are you part of the community?
Oh, wow. You know what? It's just, it's fun, and you learn things in a fun environment. I enjoy every time. I love the mastermind. First of all, if you guys get an opportunity to be part of a mastermind, whether it's a niche topic one or the general one, if you're a guest, do the mastermind, because it's other people, other business owners that genuinely care about ways that they can help you. That's first. But the camaraderie, like I love knowing that Andrew is on this right now. I mean, it feels good to have your referral partners with you to support you in your business. And Asentiv is all about helping you grow. I'm not going to say educational because I feel like Tiffanie hates that word. No. And she knows I love it, so I keep saying it. No, but I just feel like you're learning in a fun way. You're kind of like preschool. You were learning and it was fun. We're kindergarten here. Let's go outside and play.
And Andrew gave you a heart on that one.
Yay. Right. Yeah. And you know what? I get results, darn it. I get results. I was able to fine tune my target market. And you know what? My closing rate is really great for one of the number one reason I think is because I knew exactly what I want. And then I teach my referral partners what I want. So when they send me someone, it's exactly what I asked for. So of course I can close it. There's no misunderstanding there. And I learned that, from Tiffanie from Ignite Your Business. And also she loves making me do awkward things on social media, which gets me business. So
yeah, I mean, your client with sled dogs in Alaska.
Right. Was because of something I did on social media that Tiffanie asked me to do. And we post on social media all the time, but when you ask, I don't want to do it. And it's probably just childishness. But I was like,
And
no,
there you
that's
go.
so
Get
like,
results.
no.
Well,
It does.
and to me, that's part of the brilliant thing about like having a coach. I didn't want to do movement.
Right.
Now I'm loving movement. You didn't want to do the social media posts. You did it and you got a client. Like sometimes I think coaches are so important because we kind of get stuck in here's who we are and what we do. And we need that little help or assist to get us over the hump.
The little bump. And it's nice having that person that I can text to say, hey, I'm stuck here. Or I know like if I wanted to Sean or Andrew or Mercedes, there's other people that I was like, hey, I'm stuck. And I know that you're great at this topic, you know, so that's helpful.
Cool. So last two questions for you. I'm going to ask, well, actually technically three, I guess. One is, do you have any other tips or one other tip that you want to share for the viewers just to have that happier and healthier life? Then I'm going to ask your favorite brew and how do we find you?
Okay. So, just find one thing that you can do today to start a new practice. So that's 5 minutes of walking around the block, one less soda, or if it helps you to feel better, to call your best friend once a week and makes you less stressed, find one thing, look at your calendar and add it in.
Awesome.
All right. And then,
what's your favorite brew?
Oh, coffee in the morning and herbal tea all day.
Is there an herbal tea that you're kind of like really in love with right now?
Peppermint. I'm pretty much a peppermint. I'll try all the peppermints, but my son works for a grocery store in Virginia and he ships me my coffee and tea.
And see, I'm sitting here thinking, I don't know that I've ever had peppermint tea.
Oh, it's so good. And mint is such a good digestion when you like, oh, it's so good. So good for tummies. Yes.
All right. And if people are looking to get in touch with you, if I want to find out, can I sign up for Goat Yoga next month? Can I be a part of your online community if I'm not here in the local area? Where can we go to find you? How do we get in contact with you?
The easiest way is go to my website, redlifeyoga.com. You can learn all about me, what I've got to offer, and then you can even message me there.
And you have a Facebook group as well, right? Where people kind of hang out?
I do. Yeah, I do. It's RedLife Art, Food, and Yoga, because I am a painter. So I put up, sometimes I have a blog where I have painting lessons. And I'm working on sharpening up my YouTube channel. So that'll be coming out soon.
Very cool. Well, Danielle, thank you so very much for being here with us today. Thanks everybody out there for watching in the Facebook world or at the replay on YouTube. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Next week is going to be a very unique networking at noon. I will be on the beach for Rob's birthday and he is my guest. So I'm going to ask him a couple of these networking questions, though don't tell him because he's home. But if y'all ask him annoying questions, we can do that live on Facebook. So just saying. Yeah. So I'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Slightly different guests, but then we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.